Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, your host. I'm so happy you are here with us. I am with my co-explorer and co-host, Amy.
Hello.
We're coming to you from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, in the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios. We have a really fun and interesting and might even be a little bit controversial show for you. You know, this is about, you know, we've talked a lot about over-tourism, and we are seeing it more and more in places such as Spain and areas like that, where they are just not being the friendliest to tourists. And They have various reasons why. Mm-hmm. And whether you're on the side that they are misdirecting their anger at tourists for crowding their streets and it should be aimed at somewhere else, it doesn't matter. We want to get to the bottom of some of these places, really popular places, and with very good reason. But then we also want to give you some alternatives. Right.
I think it also is not even that places are inhospitable, but some places have just become so very popular that we've been to a few places over the last few years that we were very excited to go, and it was so crowded. It did not feel like an enjoyable experience, I guess is a good way to put it. Yeah. A few places we couldn't even actually stop at because we couldn't find parking or we couldn't find a place to stay. And it's just like, okay, we'll just keep going.
Yeah, fully realizing that we were, in the mix of these crowds and fully realizing also that we live in one of these areas. Mm-hmm. Because, we're going to start with Las Vegas. But look, before we begin, this episode isn't about shaming people for wanting to see famous places. I want to see famous places. Right. So do most of our listeners. Okay, we have bucket lists and different things like that. But it is about honesty. Travel has gotten, especially over the last few years, and especially more after, I guess, COVID, people were itching to get back out there. And so we've seen pre-COVID travel numbers reach, well beyond, and they're headed north in that direction, right? So travel's gotten noisy. And in some cases, it's gotten really exhausting.
Exactly.
And what was once really magical is now often, like you said, overcrowded, overpriced, and it's kind of missing the soul of the whole reason that it became special in the first place.
Yes.
So we're not here to rag on you about where you want to go and what you want to see, but we are here to offer some alternatives. And with that, like I said, we're going to start with our own hometown. Mm-hmm. We're going to start with Las Vegas because, look, we live here. We love it. And we'll be the first to tell you, Vegas can be very brutal. It can be a brutal first date if you don't know what you're doing.
Well, I think for one, just in general, Vegas is more expensive than it used to be. Obviously, prices are rising around the world. But when a drink on average is $25 to $30 for one drink, people are not coming here and enjoying themselves in the way that they used to, I would say.
It is starting to go, when we lost, I guess, individual owners and started getting more corporations that owned these casinos. And in fact, two corporations, MGM and Caesars, that own most of the Strip. Mm-hmm. It starts losing some of its luster. People are being priced out of Las Vegas. Las Vegas was popular for decades and decades because it was the affordable vacation. Mm-hmm. You could go, and if you knew the right place to go to, you could get the $2.99 shrimp cocktail and the steak dinner with a lobster tail for $9.99 and places like that. And now that is largely gone.
Right.
And it is, we live here and we rarely go down to the Strip because we know, one, there are always people.
Always.
And two, it is always going to be expensive.
Yeah. If you're staying on the Strip, I'm sure you've heard about resort fees. So that's an added fee on your hotel room. But then if you're one of these people that kind of likes to valet used to be free and then you tipped. It was a service. Now some of the casinos are charging $50 a day to valet, which I know if you live in a major city, you're probably like, that's nothing. We pay more than that. But it's just ridiculous because you're still expected to tip on top of it, on top of your room charge, on top of your resort charge, on top of paying $30 for a drink. And you're expected to spend money at the tables.
Yeah.
Who has money for that?
Yeah. It's no longer that affordable vacation. It's become that, okay, you have the resort fees that oftentimes the resort fees add up to more than the room cost if you look at your itemized bill. They don't even do self-service parking. You have to pay to self-service park, all of that. So we want to give you some alternatives. Not that we want people not to come visit Vegas, but sometimes if you're looking after your dollar, but you still want the feel and you still want the looks to a degree, you need some alternatives. And actually, I wrote these in reverse. I want to start with one here that is in Nevada, and that's Laughlin.
Right.
Laughlin is just a couple hours south of Las Vegas. It's for those who still want the slot machines. You still want to gamble a little bit. You still want to have that fun. You still want world-class shows. Yeah. We still have world-class entertainers that stop to Laughlin, but you kind of add in a river and not as many people.
It's Vegas 60 years ago.
I think so.
Yeah.
I really do.
A lot of people, locals from Vegas, go to Laughlin for like a weekend getaway.
Yeah.
Because you want that Vegas feel without having to deal with the actual tourist on the strip. So we will go to Laughlin for a weekend.
We have some very good friends, my friend and his wife, who they swear by it. They're like, and it's easier to get comps. It's easier to get free rooms and all the things that Vegas used to be known for if you gambled a little bit. It's easier to accumulate that stuff in Laughlin, and it's like a fraction of the cost.
Yeah. And if you enjoy outdoor activities, yes, they have them here in Vegas, but they also have them in Laughlin. So it's a lot of the same experiences, just 30 minutes away.
And speaking of, the Colorado River rolls right through there, right? So you float the Colorado River, you get a jet ski, lazy river cruise, all those things. You don't get that in the heart of Las Vegas. You have to go out to Lake Mead a lot of times, or some of these other areas. They have a beautiful river walk. The Laughlin River Walk is like the Strip, but it's, cheaper. And they have ducks. I'm always a fan of ducks.
Are you?
Sometimes.
I've seen you run from ducks, but
geese.
That's a different story.
Yeah, it's a different show. Jeremy's fears and how he overcomes them. He always runs. They do have the casinos, and I think Vegas has gotten to the point where you're expected to spend that minimum amount of money. And Laughlin, dude, they're just happy for your business,
right? You
kind of walk in and they're like, "Hey, the guy's here. Hey, you're dropping $20. Here's a drink. Here's a whatever." You drop enough, you got a comp room and all of that. It really makes a difference.
It does.
They have those little day trips from areas like Laughlin. Like we went to Oatman, Arizona.
We did.
It's a little fun ghost town with wild burros and fake gunfights. And you like wild burros from a distance.
Not when they stick their head in the car. No, I don't.
Another quick one. I mean, if you don't want to do Nevada, if you want to get out of the state, is Palm Springs, California.
Right. I think if you are really into that mid-century modern, cool, late 50s, early 60s kind of feel, Palm Springs is kind of known for that, like the architecture and just their art museums and things like that. It definitely has that vibe. Yeah,
absolutely. And there's, weirdly fun things like the aerial tramway. They'll take you up to the guy, just like you're doing in Switzerland or something like that. It'll take you up to the top of the mountain, to the top of Mount San Jacinto, those places. And then there's like the Ace Boutique Hotel, which kind of gives that throwback, that mid-century. There's other places also like the Purple Room Supper Club. Now, this is where the Rat Pack performed, and it's been open for all of these years. And you can still go get a good meal, listen to live jazz, things like that. So Palm Springs and Laughlin, I think, are great alternatives to Las Vegas.
Right.
A fraction of the cost most of the time, depending on what you're doing. Still a heck of a lot of fun. So stay right here. Alternatives to your favorite places. It's Unscaled Travel Show.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. Jeremy Long here with my co-explorer, Amy.
Hello.
We're in beautiful Sin City, Las Vegas, in the Diamondback Lancerfine Studios. Check us out online, unscaledtravelshow.com. And thank you so much for all of our new subscribers on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, where we put all of our shows afterwards. And then our newish now YouTube channel. Got some new subscribers on there.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. We are talking about some over-touristized. That's not a word.
That's not a word.
Overhyped. I don't know. Very popular places and offering some alternatives. And a lot of these places we have been to, we've seen these crowds firsthand. And first we were talking about Las Vegas because we're not picking on anyone. We just want to give you some good alternatives, right? The other couple places, we're going to shift our focus to Italy. Italy is gorgeous. Okay.
Yes.
There's a reason why Italy is so popular. And we have been to northern Italy, to like Toronto and places like that. We've also been more southern to Amalfi and Rome and these places. And two things are for certain. It's gorgeous. And also there's people.
It's crowded.
There are people.
There are crowded.
People. I want to talk specifically, though, about Venice and Amalfi. Romantic spots that live, I think, in the mind and the subconscious of a lot of travelers out there. And then kind of give them some alternatives to places where you can still get some beautiful views and some romanticized ideas.
Right. I mean, I've wanted to go to Italy since before we met. I don't know if you recall, but when we were dating, I told you this, and you bought me a disc set to learn to speak Italian and a guide to Venice, and you said one day we would go.
Yeah. Did you listen to those?
I did. I used to listen to them a lot. Can I speak Italian? No. But
I heard you're Italian.
It's not good.
I think it got worse.
It's not good.
Those CDs
but
were not good.
We haven't made it to Venice, but we did. I will use the word "go" very loosely. Go to Amalfi because we were a victim of over tourism. There was nowhere to park, and we made the mistake of driving there. It was so crowded, we couldn't even pull over and stop and get out of the car. We just had to keep driving down the road until we found another town that was less crowded.
Absolutely. I mean, these are really postcard perfect places, right? And that's what we're talking about. But they are currently groaning under the weight of their own popularity. Venice is literally sinking.
Yes.
Amalfi is metaphorically drowning in tourists. And you can't really enjoy a sunset without the buzz of drones overhead because everyone's a content creator.
Yeah.
And not picking on them, just saying it's a reality. So here's some alternatives to these spots, right? One is Trieste, Italy. And I'm probably butchering the name. I'm sorry to anyone out there who actually listened to those CDs.
Who learned Italian better than we did.
Trieste is Italy with a twist, right? It's a beautiful border town where cultures kind of collide. Nobody's really elbowing you in the face for a gondola ride. And you still get a lot of the same things that you would in say like Venice. Right.
It has the canals in Venice. I don't necessarily see the gondoliers and gondolas, but people do have their boats that they take through the canals. Yeah. There's also a lot of the same ruins and castles and other old architecture, obviously, that you would see in Venice is here in this city because it's just as old, but it's smaller. It is less popular, I guess. And so, yes, you're going to have, I would say, a little bit more of a limited experience. Like if there are certain things in Venice you want to do, they may not be available in Trieste. But if you're there for the history and the culture and just the feel of Venice, I think you could get it in the same town.
I would even venture to say, if you can't do Italy, look at Portugal. Look at Aveiro, Portugal, which is along the coast. We kind of drove past it on our epic road trip. They often call it the Portuguese Venice.
Yeah.
Or the Venice of Portugal.
I forgot
however you want to
about
word
that
it.
one.
But Aveiro has the canals. They have the gondoliers. They have all of those things where you can take the rides and still get the history and still get, maybe it is Italy light. But if you don't, if you're like me, I don't like big crowds. I don't like dealing with a lot of people. And I'll oftentimes just skip stuff because I don't want to deal with all of that. This would be perfect for people like me.
True. Yes.
I still get the ride. I get the feel. I still get the old history, and probably at a fraction of the cost again, and a fraction of the people.
Right.
And Portugal is beautiful.
It is
as well.
We've been to Portugal several times and love it. And I'll say for any of these super popular locations, some that we're going to get to later, some that aren't even on our list, we've been to these social media famous places. We've seen the lines that people stand in for 2 and 3 hours to get the one photo shot that everybody else is getting.
I always think of Japan.
Japan, yes.
Yeah,
there was a place in Rome that you woke up early one morning when I was doing something else, and you went to the Spanish Steps, got some beautiful photos there and at the Trevi Fountain. And then later in the day when you took me back, it was so crowded. I couldn't enjoy it. I was just looking at your photos on your phone like, oh, that's what it looks like without 5,000 people.
800 million people, yeah. Another alternative would be Menton, France.
I like the way you say that.
Menton. I am. I don't know if that's the word. That's probably the very wrong pronunciation. I imagine it's like Menton, but it's not. It's not like in the southern part of the United States. It's not like Menton. Menton, France.
Which is how I said it. You corrected me.
Corrected you to the wrong Menton. Anyway, it's just past the Italian border, but it's deeply French. You can claim it's like lemon scented and pastel colored, but criminally underrated.
Right.
It's one of these places that you're going to get the beautiful looks, the beautiful, the food. I mean, obviously when we talk about lemon scented, they have these incredible lemon tarts that are local, made with local citrus and all of that. So you'll just kind of be lost in the food and still the views and all the beautiful romantic parts of it.
Gorgeous. It's known as the Pearl of France, and it's on the French Riviera, and it's frequently listed as one of the most beautiful places on the French Riviera.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw it, I immediately thought, oh, it's Monaco. And you were like, no, this is France. But then when I looked into it, it is very close to Monaco too. So you get the Italy, the French, and the Monaco, all these different influences in this place.
Yeah.
It is on my list. We have to go here.
And there you go. That's proof right there. The show works. Even if it's just me and you talking to each other, we have proved that the alternatives work.
If no one else is listening.
I go back and I listen and write down and go, ooh, that was a really good, a really great point that I made. So you can go to these alternatives. You can still get the things that you're after. I think the best part is, like, even if you are like doing it for the gram or anything like that, now you're getting shots that other people aren't getting. You're not getting the same old stuff. And I think it's really fun to kind of, make a note of that. So keep it right here, Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. Jeremy Long here with my co-explorer, Amy.
Hello.
We are in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios, talking about some alternatives to your favorite spots if you are dealing and feeling the tourism crush. There you go, both of them. We've seen so much, especially in the last couple of years, news stories pop up in places like Spain where they're squirting tourists with water guns and doing things like that. Now, however you feel about it, locals are feeling a certain way. Locals in different areas, not just Spain, but in different areas, they are seeing tourism and over tourism and the lack of infrastructure.
Infrastructure?
There you go. Yeah, I am a professional. Anyway, they're seeing these things, and it is a real problem for them that they deal with every single day. I always talk about Las Vegas is a little bit different because the Strip is so far removed from where most people live in the city, so that if tourists are somehow in my front yard, something has gone horribly wrong for them.
There's no reason for people to be where we live.
But it's not always the case in some of these places. So, you can start sympathizing and empathizing with them. One of the places we have been and seen just tons of people, Tokyo.
Yes.
Tokyo is is New York, basically.
Yes.
And there are people everywhere, and you can have some really, really great times and some adventures in Tokyo. It is not always the most, I guess, good for people who have sensory overload.
Yeah, it's a lot. It really is a lot. I think comparing it to New York is a good comparison because it is. I don't know what you envision when you think of Japan, but I did not envision so many skyscrapers and just this crush of people and kind of this concrete jungle type of feel. Yeah. Once you get away from that, it's better. But aside from the language on the signs, I could have been in New York.
Right.
I mean, we found places that took us out of that and made us feel more like we were in another country. We found certain shrines and certain streets that had more of like an old Japanese architecture. But for the most part, you could be in any major city.
Yeah.
I personally preferred Osaka.
Yeah. I love Osaka.
It was just great. It still has a lot of that same stuff, but it didn't feel quite as just so many people in your face. And I feel like it was just sort of a different culture, maybe.
I know there was a point we were walking through the Neon Madness that is called the, Dotonbori?
Yes, Dotonbori.
That's pretty close. But that's where all the shops are and restaurant stalls and all of that stuff. And there was a good amount of people there, but nowhere during that visit did I feel overwhelmed.
Right.
And I've gone on record now a couple of times saying that I don't like huge crowds. And even though there were people there, I didn't feel like, oh, this is too much. And in fact, we visited that segment multiple times during
we went back,
our visit.
I think every day that we were in Osaka, we went back to that same part of town because there was great street food there.
The food was incredible. Yeah. The people were nice. It was clean.
It was clean.
It felt safe.
It did. I will say Japan is probably the cleanest place we've ever traveled to. Yeah. But I really did like Osaka. And then going to the castle was really neat, and how they've turned this castle into a museum. It felt more like what I thought Japan was going to be like.
Yeah. And we did, we made our ways to other parts like Hiroshima and, stopped at little points along the way. We even went by Kyoto for a day.
Yeah.
And Kyoto, the day we went, actually felt very, it was almost...
It kind of felt dead that day.
It kind of felt really dead. Like, I think most people were just at work.
Yeah, because we did go in the middle of a week.
Yeah, and it was like, we're just kind of wandering around people's, streets during the middle of the day, but... It felt very down, but I know at different times during the year, it can be very, very much like Tokyo itself.
Yes.
So even an alternative to Osaka and Kyoto is the smaller area called Kanazawa. Excuse me.
Kanazawa.
Yeah. Kanazawa. Lots of A's.
Yeah, it has a lot of that old world architecture and feel. Like when you really think of like Japan hundreds of years ago, this town has done a great job of preserving that architecture.
Yeah.
And so when you see the pictures, you're like, yes, this is what I thought going back in time to like 17th century Japan would be like, which you kind of, there's like one little area of Kyoto that we found that was like that, and that was probably the most crowded part of Kyoto that we we went to.
And that was like what the geisha district, whatever they call it. So much so that I know a while back they put up, they started enforcing laws and keeping more police presence there because tourists were getting out of hand, harassing people that were going to work, geishas that were in full drag, because they figure like, oh, this is Disneyland.
Yeah.
I just get to take pictures with Pluto all day, like, and he's here to serve me. These are real people. And that they were like harassing on the way to do what they do to make a living and just everyday life, whether they're going to work or not. You don't have the right to stop people and kind of harass them. But they do have in Kanazawa this Higashi-Chawa district, which is more in line with the geisha culture, but it's more like low key and kind of gives you that feel back with less people kind of crowding around and pushing for that certain look.
Yeah. I mean, if you go to the city's website, it says it is comparable to Kyoto without the crowds and a much more relaxed experience. That's how they describe themselves. So they're telling you we're an alternative to Kyoto.
Yeah. And they have this beautiful like open air market called I'm going to butcher this, the Omicho. The Omicho market, where you can pick up fresh food, fresh crab, fresh fish, all that good stuff. And even like gold leaf soft serve.
Oh, wow.
Because, why wouldn't you want gold leaf soft serve?
I don't know.
Tokyo's great, but so is not crying in a 7-Eleven because you got on the wrong train 3 times. Go to somewhere that you can handle. Less people, right? Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. Jeremy Long here with my co-explorer, Amy.
Hello.
For all of our past episodes, interviews, check us out at unscaledtravelshow.com. Check us out on YouTube. I'm doing some fun things on YouTube, man. Not only just our adventures, but also some like story first adventures. Some really cool stuff that we have going on there. Check us out. I don't want to spoil it for you. Just subscribe. Don't ask questions. We are talking about some alternatives to some of the more popular places out there to help in our own way. The over-tourism thing that's happening across the world. Shifting our focus back to the U.S. here in New York.
Right.
New York is New York. It's not going to change. There's always going to be a lot of people. I hate it when people are like, oh my gosh, there's so many people in New York. Yes, it's New York. Okay. I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing the things that you get caught up wanting to see and do in New York and trying to give you some alternatives to that to help you have a more pleasant experience in New York.
Right.
And I'm sure now one day, we'll have to get, I think in one of our past episodes, we talked with Vivica Chow, who, lives and works in New York, and she does a lot of things, gave us some great places to eat and things to see. Talking about some alternatives, though, I think, this is not like a one segment kind of thing.
No,
so we'll do what we can here.
I mean, I have been to New York several times now, and I have expressed that it's not a place I enjoy visiting. There are certain things in New York that I'm like, oh yeah, that was cool, or I did like seeing that. But overall, it has not been a city that I just want to go to.
And I'm the opposite.
And you love it.
I love New York.
But the last time I was there, just recently, I was by myself for a few days, and I had a lot of time to kill, and I walked all over the city, and I did find some places that I was like, okay, I can kind of get it now.
Yeah.
I could see why somebody might want to live in New York.
You were texting me. Now, I thought it was a big deal because you've had your opinion on it and been very staunch in your opinion on things. And then you were texting me and you were like, I'm starting to understand a little bit.
But you know why? I got away from the really touristy parts
Yeah.
of the city. I got away from Central Park and where the Empire State Building is and the places where everybody is going.
Yeah.
And I started seeing like the real New York where people live. And then I was even in Brooklyn and I spent some time walking around Brooklyn and I was like, I'm starting to have a mental shift on this city.
There are a lot of great things to see and do in that wonderful city, but I think the most egregious of these is Times Square.
You know, and I've never been to Times Square. I drove through it in a taxi, but I've never actually
let me explain.
stopped.
Unless you're doing, for some reason, you're trying to do New Year's in Times Square. A lot of people are saying, hey, you got to do New Year's in Times Square at least one time, right? Okay, I'm not taking that away from it, but I'm telling you, Times Square any other time, it smells like warm pretzels and despair. It is one of these places that you could drop in the middle of it and you would think you're on the Strip in Las Vegas because it's just businesses. It's just, and in fact, I looked around the first time I went there and I was like, these are the exact same businesses in almost the exact same order we have them on the Strip. There's like Bubba Gump Shrimp and all of these other places.
Rainforest Cafe.
Yes, all of these places. And it's just billboards and lights and neon. And it's so much all the time that it didn't feel special because I was like, I have this at home. I have Times Square at home. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what your mom used to say. We have Times Square at home. We don't need to pick it up. And look, I will tell you right now, Elmo will fight you. If you try to take a picture of Elmo without giving him $5, he will fight you. He's
going to chase you down.
Just like Elmo will here on the Strip. He will kick your butt on, in the middle of Times Square. Some alternatives that we found through our multiple travels to New York. I want to talk about Brooklyn. You mentioned Brooklyn. Okay. Talk about Brooklyn first. Brooklyn is a great place.
Yeah. I really like Brooklyn.
Now, I am not talking about Dumbo. If you go to Dumbo to try to get the pictures of the bridge and everything, I have done that. You are going to find crowds.
Right. So we stayed in Dumbo right there under the Brooklyn Bridge. And it's still nice, but it is still a little bit touristy. A little bit crowded. Yeah. They have actually just completed a beautiful park right there under the Brooklyn Bridge in the Dumbo area. It's really nice. Now you see a lot of people walking over there, running, have dogs, kids out there. It is the ferry, one of the major ferry stops, though, coming from Manhattan right there. So everybody who is in the city and I'm going to go to Brooklyn for the day, they're coming off the ferry right there in Dumbo. So you will see a lot of people. However, if you still want Brooklyn feel, but you don't want to be around that many people, just go south a little bit to the Red Hook district.
Yeah.
It's quirky. It's a little industrial. It has much better views of the Statue of Liberty and Governor's Island. And you can even catch a ferry down there. It can take you to the islands or over back to Manhattan.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that. And there are a couple of places down there. I mean, in the Red Hook district, you have places like Steve's Authentic Key Lime Pie.
I love key lime pie.
It's not an option. You got to go to Steve's Authentic Key Lime Pie to get some authentic key lime pie.
What else would you get?
Even if you don't like it, even if you don't like key lime pie, you get it anyway and you deal with it because that's what New Yorkers do. Okay? But yeah, I mean, the Red Hook district, those places that are not Dumbo, you'll see the crowd start thinning out and it's more just New Yorkers doing their everyday thing. Because I think a lot of people grow up with the television aspect of New York.
Yeah.
And they think these districts are still all kind of rough and tumble like they used to be. There are places, okay?
Right.
But Red Hook and places like Harlem and other things, for better or for worse, there has been some gentrification. And they aren't how they used to be, but they still retain a lot of the culture, the history, and the flavor without the overly just people everywhere in your business all the time. Because you can still go and catch a show at the Apollo Theater in Harlem, which is legendary.
Yeah. Fantastic food.
Yeah. But it won't be like going to, I don't know, name a place in Midtown.
Broadway.
There you go. Broadway. Which is just, I mean, you have to book out months in advance.
We did. It was nuts. It was nuts down there.
It's crazy. So New York, go there, but do something a little bit different. It's Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. Jeremy Long here with my co-host and co-explorer, Amy.
Hello.
We are in beautiful Las Vegas in the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios. Remember to check them out. DiamondbackLandSurveying.com for all of your land surveying needs. We appreciate Trent, Lisa Keenan, always with the love. And, they are travelers themselves. And I know one of the places that they go, I don't know if they actually go here, so let me not even say that. Well, the next place we want to talk about that we've been to multiple times that, is probably one of the more popular places for like spring break out of the United States here. Yep. And that is Cancun, Mexico.
You said it. I was going to say it. Cancun, spring break, they go hand in hand. Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be spring break. That's just the feel you get. It's like a constant party on the beach.
Yeah.
I had not even been to Cancun until just a few years ago. And since then, I've been back 5 or 6 times for work. And it's fine. It really is fine. I think you can find places in Cancun itself that are a little less party atmosphere.
Sure.
If you're looking for that. But you have to look for it.
It is largely catered to the spring break crowd.
That and family vacations. So a lot of people with little kids running up and down the beach.
Which is crazy because there is so much like outdoors and history. I mean, there's cenotes that you can go swim in, and then, the Chichen Itza and things like that are around there. And it kind of gets boiled down to Senor Frogs. Which is
very good way of putting it.
Which is kind of sad in a lot of ways, But again, it comes down to like tons of people and overstimulation, which is just, I mean, we have stayed there and you can hear the music late into the night just vibrating through your hotel windows and everything. Hey, whatever, you signed up for this, right? But the alternatives to this, and I'll start with the one that we have stayed in the most recently. I would even say Cozumel.
Yeah.
A lot of people day trip into Cozumel, but they go there for a day. There's a little bit of shopping. There's, a little bit of that. And there is like a national forest, national park type thing. Some people do the Jeep tours and things like that. But a lot of people miss out on staying and really kind of experiencing it.
Because Cozumel it's an island right off of Mexico. It is also a cruise port destination. So you do get all those day trippers coming in from the ships, along with people coming in on the water taxis from the Riviera Maya space. But if you just drive down the road away from where the cruise ports are, kind of where we stayed, which is a little bit more on the like northeast part of the island, totally different feel. Very quiet.
Totally different.
I will
vibe.
say you don't get those beautiful, pristine beaches because it is a coral reef island. So, if that's what you're going for, Cozumel might not be the place.
Yeah, you don't get the white sand.
Right.
But
like you said,
wear shoes.
half the island is like a wildlife preserve. Yeah. So it has a very different feel. And you and I rented a car and we drove around the part of the island that is accessible. And it feels nothing like Cancun.
Yeah.
Even in the part where the port is for the cruise ships. It's like just a much quieter, toned down tourist spot, I guess. Like there's a lot of shops and restaurants, but it wasn't like overly crowded.
Yeah, because like Cancun and Playa del Carmen go like hand in hand, and it is all just like it is Bananarama. It is party time all the time. And then you have Cozumel, which does have certain spots where you can do that if that's what you want to do. Like you said, you remove yourself from that just even a little bit.
5 minutes down the road.
And it is a totally different vibe.
Yeah.
100%. And I will forever lift up the people from the Pizza Hut in Cozumel for being so nice and friendly and letting us sit while a torrential downpour and flooding in the streets
island
was
flooded.
happening.
Yeah.
And they were just like, take your time, sit here as long as you want. Here's some hot pizza. And it was so good. And they were so
nice.
friendly.
Yeah.
Another alternative is Isla Holbox.
Yes. Yes.
And that's Holbox, right?
Yeah, it is beautiful. And it's not far from Cancun either. It's going a little more on, like, if you were to go north around the top of the peninsula. But this pristine beaches, crystal clear waters, and just kind of more of a laid back, quieter atmosphere.
Yeah.
So it's like what Cancun would be without a Hard Rock Cafe or Hard Rock Hotel in the middle of it.
I think the best part, no cars.
Oh, yeah.
There are no cars on the island. And it's kind of that unofficial slogan, no cars, no shoes, no regrets at all. And that's what you do. I mean, you're officially on island time.
Yes.
Because I feel like you're on party time in Cancun, but you're on island time. That's when you swim around in those bioluminescent waters where like the whatever, the plankton or whatever
that
create
make it
the
all
light.
glow in the dark.
Yeah, and so you're just swimming
So
around in
cool.
there. You take a boat tour to see the flamingos and the whale sharks,
The flamingos.
Yeah, you see flamingos on the
Okay.
side. But you don't take a boat tour.
Okay.
But that's exactly what I said. I know what I said. Or they have, a lot of places have the hammocks that are literally in the water. So you can just
This is
enjoy.
like if you were thinking, I want to go vacation on an island, this is what you're thinking of.
Yes. This is beachfront ceviche with cold cerveza and a fraction of the noise.
Yeah. It's not nightlife. If you're not like Cancun
No.
is nightlife, this is I want to lay on the beach and have a drink. Absolutely. You have to check this place out.
Yeah. And even a third alternative, if you don't want any of those two things, which, come on, all right. Mazunte in Zipolite. I am terrible with, Oaxaca, on the Oaxaca coast. It's often known as the anti-Cancun.
They call it the secret beach town.
Yeah. It's part surf town, part spiritual reset
Oh, nice.
for a lot of people.
Which isn't that what a vacation's supposed to be?
It is supposed to be that. But I mean, don't let me hate. If you're on a mission for spring break, if you're 23 and you're like, I'm just trying to make it through finals and I'm just trying to release some energy, go to Cancun.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it all up the way you know how to do it, right? Me, just talking about that makes me exhausted now.
I think you probably would like the Oaxaca beaches better. It's more of that like rustic Mexican beach feel and vibe. It is less developed.
Say Guatanejo.
It is less developed, but I mean, it's still safe as long as you're smart about your travel. But it's just a totally different feel. You're not going to find all those nightclubs and crazy amount of bars. It's more you're there for the beaches.
Yeah, and they do have close by the National Mexican Turtle Center.
Oh,
where at different times during the year, depending on Mother Nature, where you can be a part of and just watch the release of baby sea turtles.
I'm so happy right now.
At dusk. Or, there's things just like sunrise yoga on the beach. And there's no drunk tech bros like high-fiving each other.
This feels like real Mexico, and Cancun is like American Mexico party city.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine it, just fish tacos, that taste like someone's abuela made them, like fresh off the grill, man. That kind of stuff.
You're making me hungry. You got to stop at that.
Yeah. Hey, man, I will say Cancun is fine if that's what you want. If you want that cruise ship without the ship, you want that party all day, every day stuff, there you go. But if you want what you imagine as real Mexico.
Yeah.
It's not catered to the tourists necessarily, but it's beautiful. And some parts of it are weird, but it's real. Then, it's out there too. You just got to look a little bit harder, right?
Yeah. It's an authentic experience.
Keep it right here. It's the Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long here with my co-explorer, Amy.
Hello.
We are in beautiful Las Vegas in the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios, giving you the best alternatives to some of the most popular and maybe over-tourisized locations in the world. We want you to have a good time, but I don't know, be part of the solution, I guess. Still have a good time, still go see beautiful stuff, but do we really need more people in some of these locations? I don't know. We've talked about Las Vegas and things. I think places like Las Vegas are actually built for tourism. Mm-hmm. We have the infrastructure.
Yes.
A lot of older cities, Venice, places like that we've talked about aren't built for it.
Right.
And it puts a strain on everything. And that's what I think locals get upset about. It's like they can't get their basic services and needs met because tourism has kind of, taken over everything.
It has. And a lot of those cities are combating that by now charging a visitor fee. If you are not staying in their city, meaning you do not have a hotel room in their city, you are being charged a fee to enter into the city limits just to try to... I don't know if it really deters because it's not a large amount, but maybe try to help pay for some of the infrastructure that's needed too.
Yeah. And some of them are going to extreme lengths of putting, or at least discussing putting limits on who can get into the city, how many people they're allowing on a daily basis into their city. We've visited different places like Aruba that have started charging money to at least combat these experiences to help the environment or different things that they need on the island that they're not getting.
Yeah.
And so we want to bring it back to the place that's in the news now because of the, protests that are going on. And that's Spain.
Yes.
Spain is gorgeous. Okay. People love Spain, Barcelona, Madrid. So much history, so, beautiful and varied of a country. The food is phenomenal. And normally, and I think until the last couple of years, Spain has been pretty chill as far as people are concerned. But their reaches, they're dealing with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Soaring housing prices, just like a lot of areas, soaring housing prices, infrastructure that's not keeping up with demand. And then it seems like more tourists, I think just their attitudes are kind of not like, oh, we're in reverence of the thing that you have. It's more of like, I want what I have back home right here. And I'm going to start complaining and keeping it, on a level of, it just gets on your nerves how some people act entitled, when they come visit your area. Okay. So right now we have tourists that are getting booed in Barcelona. There are protests in Palma, and people are getting squirted with water guns.
They're having water balloons thrown at them.
Are getting water balloons thrown in their face. And I'm not saying for or against either thing. I'm saying let's offer some kind of solution. Go to some places that aren't getting as much tourist traffic. And I think you'll have a good time.
Yeah.
The first place, an alternative to the very popular Madrids and Barcelonas and things like that, is Girona.
Right. And it's really not that far from Barcelona.
Yeah.
If you look at a map, I mean, it's not right there, but it's still on the same coast of the country. But it is a little bit different. It is inland, so it's not really on the water. So it's a little bit of a different feel. But if you're one of those people that you really enjoy like architecture and history like we do, you will get what you were expected to see in Barcelona, you will get in Girona.
And it's one of these like really, really old cities with a very long history. So they have all of these different quarters and sections. Like they do have a Jewish quarter. They do have Arab baths from the 12th century. They do have medieval city walls. And for you people who just live through your phones or whatever, through Netflix or HBO Max or whatever, Game of Thrones, starting in season 6, they used parts of the city for various filming locations. I think all kinds of stuff was filmed around there. I'm looking at it now, like King's Landing and Bravos and different things at the Citadel were filmed in and around this part of Spain. So like, even if you want to go and just kind of see some things that you've seen on TV, there you go. It's a beautiful alternative to walking the same crowded streets of like Madrid and things like that. So, you'll still get the tapas. You'll still get Michelin star restaurants because Spanish food, oh my gosh.
Yeah, some of my favorite.
Just lock me in the country and then ship me off the fat camp because I will eat and eat and eat.
I love you.
Some of the other alternatives are in the northern part of the country.
Yes.
Now, I think Spanish locals at this time may be a little upset at me for saying, like, how dare you talk about our beautiful resort towns in the north when people aren't visiting, but like San Sebastian.
Right.
And what's it called? Bilbao?
I don't know how to say it.
Bilbao and San Sebastian aren't very far apart, but they are equally beautiful cities that you can go to find some wonderful things to do and see and eat without
So
feeling the crunch.
This is the Basque region of Spain, which has its own unique history and culture there. And so you're still in Spain, but it's different. And until you see it yourself, you kind of don't understand. Because I've always heard a lot about Basque, and I didn't fully understand what it was until we started digging into this. It is a mountainous, autonomous community in Spain, but I think at one point it was its own country. Like the history there, I'm still a little fuzzy on. But it is like, if you want Spain, you would get that here, but you'd also get a little bit more. So this northern part of Spain, obviously you have the beaches, which are beautiful. You also get the food and the restaurants, but it has its own like gastronomy there because of all the different cultures that have come together to make it. It also has, how much I love like old world town areas. It has like the old cobble street town streets that you can walk down. So it just feels like you're being transported back in time. But then it also has new upscale shopping. So it's a little bit of everything, I think. You can have the beach, you can have the old world, you can have shopping. It's all here in this one area.
Yeah. And, alternatively in Bilbao, if you like, this might even be an alternative from New York because it also has a Guggenheim Museum.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You can go there and see huge, just like the one in New York that probably gets more love. You see large collections of modern and contemporary art and just walk around a wonderfully weird museum and just kind of soak it all in. But they also have just waterfront, the historic neighborhoods that line, again, what you were just talking about, like the cobbled streets, the little quaint shops and bars that, locals stop in at and everything. That you'll just get so much more history and so much more of the, I think a good way to put it is like one-on-one time.
Yeah. With
a lot of the historic districts and neighborhoods compared to, you're seeing horror stories now on like TikTok and Instagram of people just looks like herds and masses of people just, crammed together in these little alleyways trying to get to whatever Instagram spot they're trying to get to take the same picture that everyone else is taking.
Exactly. I think we also ran into the same thing when we were in Switzerland. We stayed in Zurich, which was nice, but we felt we had a more authentic Swiss experience when we went to Lucerne or even when we went over to Basel. They're
Yeah.
not quite as crowded. Yes, they still have touristy spots to them, but you did kind of get to really immerse yourself in the culture, and it wasn't just this crush of people around you.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. You can find them, and oftentimes it's just a bus ride away or something like that. Even little things like, a lot of people like the Hollywood Walk of Fame in LA. There's so many alternatives. Like, instead of crushing with people at the Chinese theater right there where everyone has their, hands in the cement and all of that stuff, which is fun to experience.
Yeah.
And you get to see all the famous people that have been there or whatever. But there is like, the Last Bookstore or the Silver Lake Staircases or like all these other things that often get overlooked. They don't get as much publicity, so people don't go to them. They don't flock to them. But you can. You get something different. You get different stories to tell. And you have a whole lot of fun doing it at the same time, right? It's the Unscaled Travel Show. Thank you guys for listening and subscribing. We will see you guys next time.